welcome to another episode of Strong Female Lead. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm Tessa.
And I'm Tricia.
Yay, and we are back to talk about the most cringiest of film series. Guys, get ready to cringe. It's gonna be so awkward. Just so awkward.
Yeah, it is.
This week we're talking about the TV series, the Hulu series, Pen15, which was actually suggested by a listener. She's at If You See Natalie on Instagram, so go follow her. Shout outs to Natalie for this awesome suggestion, which is I think exactly yes, exactly what we needed in the time of COVID. Just a nice cringy laugh. And this is the comedy series that's going to bring all of that. So here on SFL, we talk about whether or not Hollywood is getting it right in its depiction of women in film and TV. And in my opinion, Hollywood is getting a big-ass A+ for Pen15. The series is, the premise of the series is middle school as it really happened. Erskine and Konkle, the two writers and lead actresses in the TV series, play versions of themselves at 13. So it's the year 2000s, and they're surrounded by actual 13-year-olds, where the best day of your life can turn into the worst with the stroke of a gel pen. And I think that is such an accurate description of both life at 13 and this series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Tricia, what were your thoughts? Give me some thoughts.
It was amazing. And it was cringeworthy in so many different ways, but just even the way they set it up, being 31-year-olds acting with children, just added this whole level of like hilarity to it, because I'd find myself disappearing into their universe, and especially with Maya, who looked very, very young. It was easy to forget that she was 31, and then every once in a while I'd remember, and then just thinking of a 31-year-old like looking at a kid that way, or getting nervous, or just being really awkward in these situations that as someone in their 30s you could give two shits about. And you know better now. It is so funny. It was so well written, and they hit even the subtlest points of nostalgia, even in the way that they spoke with each other, their reactions, the timing. I mean, I don't know anyone who was a kid during this time. I mean, I was 17 in 2000. I can't do math. 17 or 18 in 2000. I graduated high school, so I was a senior in high school. But the mannerisms and all of that are exactly the same for how I was at their age. And then the nostalgia, the cultural nostalgia is the same. I was just older with it. But it's all there. It is all there. They captured it so perfectly. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved it.
This is the series that I just kept putting off watching, because for me, like, cringe comedy like hits so hard. I'm like, I feel with the characters so deeply that I'm just like, I didn't think I could bear to watch them. Like, I thought I might just, dissolve into a puddle on the floor of just like cringiness, because like I did all the same things. I'm just slightly younger than these girls. I think I was in I know I was in 4th grade in the year 2000, but I was in 4th grade.
But when you were in 7th grade or 8th grade, you did the same things.
Yeah, very similar. Like some of the things, like explain to the listeners what you just explained to me, because I was like, what are you talking about? About the Pen15, the title of the series.
You were just a little too young for it, because that sort of thing only really came about when you were when you were like almost at the end of like 7th, 8th grade. But they don't bring it up at all in the series. Maybe they do in the 2nd season, which I haven't watched, but Pen15 was this stupid trick you would play on people, and you would ask them if they wanted to be part of the Pen15 club. And then you'd be like, okay, give me your hand, and you'd have to write it on their hand, and Pen15 looks like the word penis. And I instantly knew that. I was waiting for them to make a reference, but I love it even more that they didn't. And so that, and Tess and I just spoke about it. And I was like, okay, are you ready to record penis? And she's like, I don't know what that is. And yeah, this is the series called Penis.
Which is even better, because I was like, how did I not know this? I was in 4th grade, and
yeah, you were just like 2 years shy of it.
Yeah, and I mean, and like even my older sisters were only like in like 6th grade, so they were probably like, if I told this to my older sister, they'd be like, you mean penis? And I'd be like, shut up, you didn't know. Stop trying to act smart. In 7th grade.
The way you write it. So like when you see it typed out, it's very easy to just see the Pen15, but when you write it, like especially like on someone's hand or like a kid just writing it fast, it's so very clearly penis. So I will give it to you that like they didn't put it in like handwritten anything. Yeah. So it's very easy, but that's probably why it was permitted to like be released. I don't know if they would have just been able to title it and have it look like penis. I mean, maybe.
I mean, it's Hulu. It's like, you know, paid subscription. Yeah. Get what you pay for. But no, it was lovely. It was lovely. And so like, unlike film, like this is very episodic and character driven. So I'm not going to harp about the plot because there isn't really a plot. We're here with them in everyday life, just getting to know these two characters. Anna.
They are, oh my God.
Yeah. They are,
How do you feel about Anna?
No, I feel like I just like just Anna and Maya all the time. I mean, I feel like I relate a little bit more to Anna than Maya, but just barely. I feel like I could see myself in both of these characters. Yeah. It's just they're just 7th graders, and it's just all the nostalgia in the world. Even the music that they're playing, the clothes. I'm like, yes. I feel like I had some of this stuff that they're wearing.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. The cargo pants, the like collared shirts with like strange brown stripes on them. The Care Bears t-shirt, which cracked me up because like it was kind of a cool thing, right, to wear a shirt with like old school toys because they weren't playing with Care Bears, but like Care Bears were my toys. So I remember like playing with the toys, but then also the shirts that showed the like strawberry shortcake, Care Bear kind of thing. The phone that you can like see the insides of the phone, you know?
That's that dating game board show. That was words. None of those made sense.
Yep. I know what you're talking about though.
Girl Talk or the
had
other
a phone
one.
Like that?
Yes, had a phone like that. And I just remember like thinking to myself, like, one day I'll have a phone of my own in my bedroom and I'll be so cool and I'll just like talk to my friends all the time and be like so cool. And then
I know. I'll grab the phone and just like yank it to my
talk
bed.
all night. Mm-hmm.
Tell me,
and talk to
you
boys.
Own, around the same time, the Mac computers came out that also looked like those phones.
The candy back, it's like bright orange. Yeah.
We had a lime green one.
Oh, ooh. See, my dad is a PC guy. He's lifetime in IT, so he's like all about that Mac. But I do remember dialing into AOL and having it be like, there's no more minutes left of the internet, which is a travesty. I was like, how we struggled, how the children today will never know how we struggled. And ASL, like age, sex, location, and just random ass chat rooms. Yes, lived for it. Lived for it.
Would go into like MXPX was this like little
Ooh.
punk band. I know, so silly. I'd go into like specific MXPX chat rooms, and then you would start talking with someone, and then you'd go into your separate chat, and then you'd have this like imaginary boyfriend. I do remember doing that with friends at a sleepover, and then getting really excited that like I had this boyfriend, which is terrifying to think about now, being older and thinking about who that person could have been. It just wasn't, you heard about
the internet was
weird.
innocent. The internet was as innocent as we were then.
We did not know. It could have been a 60-year-old man, but like,
Ugh.
I just could not even think that
No.
that would be a possibility. Oh my God.
It never occurred to me at that age that people would lie on the internet. Even still, I just like don't, it doesn't occur to me that people are lying. Like Instagram photos where people are like Photoshop and Facetune their face to death.
Everything.
It doesn't occur to me that they're lying. I was like, oh, she's just so pretty. Like, no, the internet lies now in 2020.
Oh my God. So, I mean, there's going to be so much nostalgia to bring up throughout, but like, so what is the journey that we're going on? Obviously, we're going on a middle school journey with them. It's their first day of like 7th or 8th grade. It's 2000.
Yeah.
But they're like these best friends. They do everything together. And that is totally how friendships were. They were full on codependent. I mean, they are literally taking us like a physical step. They want to take a physical step into the school or out of the car at the same time. They want to get finger banged for the first time together, like in the same room. They want everything happening, and you're so enmeshed. But, you know, like friendships aren't like that when you get older, or hopefully not. They're fun when you're younger, and there's so much fun when you're younger because truly, like, there's this one person that understands everything about you, but it's just not sustainable. You just don't ever have those friendships anymore, but they're so good when you're younger.
Yes, I'm like adult relationships, like kid relationships just have fear. You're like, oh my God, do everything with me at the same time because I'm scared, but I don't want to be scared. So like, do it with me. Adult relationships have fear and shame. And I'm like, I did that. I don't want anyone to know about that. I'm going to take that one to the grave. Yep. And so, you know, the divide, the little, like, you know, we get a little bit farther apart because we're like, I just don't want some things to live in the universe. I have the memory of it, but it doesn't need to be out for the world. And that extends relationships. But I feel like I did miss out on something because, like, I have a twin sister. So I didn't have this exact experience of, like, having, like, somebody who's, like, not, like a completely like outside person be my like number one best friend. Let's do everything together. Because I had that since forever. We did everything together always. And so it's, you know, it's a little weird because like you don't really grow out of that like 7th grade phase until you're like in your 20s. In your early 20s, like when you're like getting into college and like, you know, like you have like your serious boyfriends, serious in air quotes, serious boys, and like, you know, your jobs and like life brings you apart. But I was like, I can resonate a little bit with, I had like good friends, but not like, I had this type of relationship, but with my twin sister, which is a little different.
Yeah, I definitely had those. I mean, especially at school, but also I lived on a street where there were kids, maybe like 5 kids around my age at any given time. And we went to different schools, but we spent so much time together when we were at home. And there were 3 of us, me, Lindsay, and Kara. And Lindsay was always the most powerful person in the trio. And she would, shout out to Lindsay, love you, Lindsay Lou. She would truly, she had a power of triangulating us, where she would kind of pull one and then the other one would be out, and then she would go to the other one, and then the other one would be out. And I was the last on the totem pole. So I typically ended up being the one who was like, come on, guys, like just like freaking out, not getting what I wanted. Because I just was I hate to say it, but like the weaker. At that time, I didn't stand up for myself. You know, I didn't I just was too nervous about it. And so, oh God, but like, they were my best buds. She was my first friend, Lindsay. You know, across the street. Yeah. And just that obsession. And I'll never forget, like, because there were times where she wouldn't want to hang out with me. And I remember going to just, you know, when you'd knock on someone's door to see if they were available. And I went over, and as I was about to knock on the door, I heard her yell to her mom, "Mom, I'm so bored." And then I knocked on the door, and she answered, and she's like, "I can't play right now."
Oh my God.
Laugh so hard about it right now. And she's like, "I'm sorry, my mom needs you to do something." And I was like, oh, and it's just like, those things are so hysterical. And I could hear her voice like shook the house when she yelled, "I'm so bored." And like being that age where you could just like yell at your parent and tell them how bored you were. Oh my God.
Cannot resonate with that experience. Ugh, coming from a Black home. That's
I was gonna
still
say,
to this
that
day.
might be,
That's a unique experience.
that might be a white kid privilege.
Yeah. But yeah, oh my God. I mean, I was just like, you know, I feel like my 7th grade experience wasn't the best because my family moved in 7th grade, so I was the new kid, which wasn't great. But my 6th grade experience is what I would mostly compare, you know, me in Pen15, me in 6th grade, with just like having your best friends who you've had since like kindergarten, and we're all just like so nervous to be around 8th graders, like, and my sisters were in 8th grade, so I was like, I knew 2 of them, so it was less scary because of that. But like even like riding the bus, like just like being so intimidated by literally everyone and everything that was happening, but also trying to be so cool and like,
so
you know, like act like you've been there. Yeah, so cool. And like just like dances and just raw like hormones everywhere. Ugh.
Oh my God.
So fun though. So fun. I mean, loved it.
And having zero responsibility. Oh my God. The hormones. I gotta tell you, the episode, so we go through a couple of pivotal moments with Maya and Anna during this. So we just kind of go through these coming of age moments with them. One of them was obviously starting school, 7th grade. The other one, Maya discovers masturbation. And I was dying inside because when she was making her toys kiss, and they're obviously like not even remotely looking human. I don't think I have those toys. Yeah, right. Which is amazing. And then all of a sudden she feels something, and they show that like it's like beating.
Yeah, her throbbing crotch. Like, yeah.
Her throbbing crotch. Oh my God, I started laughing out loud because the same thing, not my crotch didn't throb like that, but I will never forget when I first had that feeling and I was having my Barbies kiss, and I didn't have a Ken Barbie, so I would cut the hair of one of my Barbies and then have to make out with my other Barbie. And I remember getting that like pulsating and being like, oh my God. And then I also remember getting it if I like made my My Little Ponies kiss. And I'm unclear about whether or not I made Barbie kiss a My Little Pony. I may have dabbled in some extracurricular like that as well. But it was
some plastic bestiality. Okay.
It's like just a little bit Mattel Toys bestiality happening. And I definitely remember that feeling, and then remember trying to figure out that feeling and then masturbating. I didn't get like obsessed the way that she did, which I did love, that she was full on like binging for like a day or two.
Lie about where you are. I was like, this isn't gonna bode well for your future self. Like, I'm sure these patterns continued and they're hilarious.
I mean, I wasn't as obsessive back then, but I remember that feeling, and I remember getting it even if I was like playing with another friend, and we were making our Barbies kiss. And I remember being like, oh my God, like,
Wait.
what is this?
I don't remember this. And I was like, maybe I was just like always a semi-horny kid, but like I don't remember like making Barbie kiss and being like, that's different. Like
Really?
not at all. I remember like trying to like there's a scene where the boys are like trying to watch porn and like a fuzzy TV. I remember doing that. I remember doing that.
I love that.
But and I still think that's like yeah, I think that's like the first pornographic images I ever saw was just like hazy,
right,
you know,
very fuzzy,
fuzzy Skinamax things, and I'm like, what? Why are they all naked? I was trying so hard.
The first time you see porn, I love that.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you remember the first time you saw porn?
I think it was that.
Just by accidentally, like, switching.
Oh no, I was looking for it because someone had told me that it existed, and I was like, oh, I want to see what is porn. Like, I don't know. Do you remember the MTV show Undressed? Because I feel like that's where I got a lot of my sex ed from at an early age. Like,
I haven't thought about that show in so long. Yes, I do remember it.
But I was like, I feel like that's like where I got a lot of like bad information from. But I think that's where I got it from. I want to say it was on around that time.
MTV, it'll rot your brain. Remember that?
Do people still watch it? What's happening with MTV?
I still watch the challenge. I admit it. I'm a challenge person for life, but that's it.
Do they have other shows you know of?
Yeah, they do.
Because like after Jersey Shore, I felt like the channel died.
No, like 16 and Pregnant. They've got all those still.
That's so sad.
Oh, I don't watch it either. It is very sad. Oh my God, porn. So the first time I ever saw porn was when I used to tape all the Friends and Seinfeld episodes on VHS so I could watch them 1,000 times. And I had them all taped. And now you tape over things and tape over things and tape over things. And that's just kind of how you did it. Well, my brother taped over my Friends episode with a porn. And I didn't know until I put it in. And then I was like, ooh. And then I watched the whole thing. And I remember I was like, 7th grade. I was like, oh my God, this. And I almost yelled like, Matt, you're disgusting. And then I stopped myself and was like, I'm going to watch this. What is this?
I feel like, and like at that age, you just kind of think, why are people keeping things from me? Like, I'm practically an adult at 12. But practically an adult, just tell me what's going on. And my parents, like, I was thinking, like, my parents never even, like, bothered to have a sex talk with me. I guess they just assumed TV told me.
My mom didn't have a sex talk with me either.
Right? No birds and the bees or flowers or nothing.
Nope, nothing. I think she assumed I learned it in school, yet I was still confused.
But didn't you go to Catholic school?
Yeah, I did go to a Catholic school, and we talked a little bit about sex, but it was more the anatomy piece of it, and like ovaries and how a child is produced. But I remember walking away from the class not really understanding the physical action of what happened. And I remember asking my brother, and then he told me. My mom never told me.
No, my
mom had the sex talk with me when I was 24 or 25, and I had just moved back home after living with a boyfriend. Hi, Mom.
As a
joke,
she
listens now.
She was what?
I know.
Oh my God! Now. I should call my parents today and ask, Mom, what's sex? Just so we could have the conversation that you missed when I was growing up.
Tell her you want to have it. Tell her you demand. It is your right.
Yeah.
Your human
Mom,
right.
Where do babies come from? I think my parents used to say the store.
Love that.
Just like vaguely, like not even which store, like which store sells babies.
Just like marketing.
Yeah.
Just buying a baby.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be a store.
There is. There's the dark web. I know you don't like to talk about it, but there's.
Why would you even bring that up? We had gone like a very nice streak with no one talking about it. Immediately someone says a dark web and like my eyes start to water. I was like, I just immediately want to cry. I was like, the fact that it exists terrifies me.
Well, your parent, maybe it's because of your parents, because they started this with talking about baby stores.
I was thinking like a hospital and the way that you have to pay the hospital to have a baby. But then you brought up the dark web, and I feel like I've said it 3 times, and like Freddy Krueger, something bad's gonna happen.
Oh my God! Okay, it is so easy. There's so much nostalgia, but please.
Did you have any favorite moments from the series, other than the ones you've already discussed?
I know it just. Yeah, well, I just thought the characters were so interesting because Anna seemed a little more mature than Maya, but then Maya would let her crazy out in a way that like I was not comfortable doing as a kid. And I really loved that. Like when she just went totally wild playing the drums.
Yeah.
I was like, never ever would I do that. Or when she would start doing impersonations and do crazy shit and like pull down her pants and she's Jim Carrey or Ace Ventura or something like that. I was just like, she let the crazy out. And I thought that was incredible. Anna was a little more reserved with that, but like she definitely seemed to catch on to like what was going on in certain situations before Maya would. Like with the thong.
That was my favorite episode.
The thong.
That was my favorite episode because I don't remember specifically like getting like cool underwear, but I remember not having to wear like baby underwear. And I just remember feeling like I am such hot shit right now. Like you don't even know. You're not ready for this. Like you don't even know middle school.
Yeah.
And I was like a pretty like strangely developed middle schooler. Like I had like pretty big boobs. And so I was like very much feeling myself. And then I was like, training bra. This is a real bra. This is pink. This is Victoria's Secret. Do you even know about them?
Straps.
This is like.
This has straps.
I may as well be in a beach house like every day. Like MTV Beach House. Don't worry about it.
Have you seen MTV Undressed?
Exactly. That's probably where I got all these ideas from. Like, yeah,
I love that you were that kid.
Oh,
you were that kid.
So much unearned confidence as a middle schooler, especially 6th grade was like pretty. It wasn't my finest hour in terms of like humility, but then I was quickly humbled in 7th grade when we moved, and I was like, all of these kids are completely different than the kids I just left, and I don't know any of them. This kind of sucks. Being the new kid in middle school is probably the worst time to ever be the new kid. At least in high school, you're like, everyone's kind of new. Like, at least like from where I'm from, like all the high schools come together. We have like a township high school. So like 4 small towns are coming together for high school. So like everyone's kind of new. In middle school, just I'm new. Everyone else has known each other since kindergarten. And I'm like,
were you a
popular?
Were you a quote unquote popular kid like before 7th grade?
Yeah.
Got it. So you had a lot of confidence when you were younger.
Unearned. I just thought I was the greatest. Like nothing could have told me anything different, and that I wasn't like super smart, super cute, had friends, like just all sorts of like confidence that made no. And I have like my best friend is my sister, so I was like, best friend check. Like there is no like awkward phase. Like I didn't get that until middle school, where I'm like, we're not in the same classes. I don't know anybody here. Now I have to like let these people in on my personality and my inside jokes and like hope that they think I'm funny. The worst. So
I was the
that's
opposite.
where that came from.
I was not confident, and I was extremely awkward. And I had friends, but I definitely felt like an outcast sometimes. I was picked on, and then I would subsequently pick on someone else to like make myself feel better. And I had pranks pulled on me.
No.
Oh Oh yeah, like I
didn't think that people really did that until I got to college and people told me about their schooling experience. Like I didn't think that. I thought that was a movie thing. Like people did that in movies, but nobody like like a Carrie type prank to pull on people. Like a big like like classes laughing at you prank. Like I don't remember that, or maybe I was just oblivious to it. I definitely didn't pull pranks like that on like bad pranks, like things that you'd be embarrassed about. Like,
well, not like super bad, but definitely like hurtful. I mean, I remember, and it sticks with you. I remember it was the last day of school, and we were allowed to push our desks together with a group, so you could sit next to who you wanted to and make it kind of like a table. And I pushed my desk with this group that I was friends with, but I was like the outlier. Like they kind of picked on me. And I had another group of friends, but I was like desperately kind of trying to hang out with this group that picked on me. I don't know why. And so then I went to the bathroom with one of the girls that came back. They moved my desk away from theirs to a corner by itself. And I sat down and started crying. And then a boy asked me if he was a popular boy at the time. He asked me if I wanted to sit with their group. And their group was co-ed.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, I'm like,
better.
And I
upgrade.
I go there, and I'm telling you, it was the nicest thing. I pulled him aside at a bar, like in my early 20s when we came back for the holidays for Christmas. You knew where everyone was. There weren't that many bars that people would go to. So you'd end up seeing everyone. And most people I didn't really care to see. I haven't gone to any reunions. I'm like, Facebook tells me everything. I don't need to see you. Exactly. But I really liked this guy. And I went to him and I said, listen, I don't know if you remember this, but this happened and this is what you did. And I still remember, like, it meant a lot to me. And he was really moved by it. He said he's been having like a really shitty time lately, and he needed to hear something like that. It was really sweet. I know, like that kind of stuff. But guess what? Even that same night after they did that, and after I cried, I still went to the sleepover that they were going to have the last day of school, because you're still desperately trying. I could relate to these girls like in the show, still trying to fit in. They've done that to me. And as a person of my age, I'd be like, well, then I just won't hang out with them. Like, no thanks. But when you're a kid, it's different. I still wanted to. I had other friends that they were friends with. I decided to go. They told me to go at a certain time. And I showed up. Everyone was already there. And then they got me with shaving cream.
Well, that's just a classic slumber party prank. Okay, that was harmless.
Classic. But it's after what happened that day.
Okay, it's the same day. It's harsh.
I still stay.
Well, you can't like leave a slumber party. You can't just like leave. Those are like the rules. Like if you fall asleep, then you get shaving cream. Did you fall asleep?
No, I got shaving creamed upon arrival.
Oh.
They told me everyone was there already. They told me a different time.
I thought you'd like fallen asleep early, and so they got you like shaving cream on your hand, and then you like wake you up and you like smack yourself. Like, that's a cute kid prank. Like, I feel like I've done that to people.
This is, it was bad.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
It was terrible. It was terrible, but like I still, then when I got to high school, I wasn't really friends with any of them, and it was like a reset. When you go to high school, there's more people, and so we all went to the same high school, a lot of us, but I was always a floater, but I would say middle school, I definitely got picked on, and so when Maya was getting picked on, I felt it. I mean, it wasn't the same, because Maya was an interesting character, especially in the last episode, Posh, where then we bring race into the equation. So her growing up was very different than mine. I was picked on the way she was. I'd been called ugly, not you just, but I'd been called ugly a couple of times.
Never heard this before, and I was like, I wonder if that was true.
No,
or real.
I didn't know what you just was.
Okay.
I didn't know what that was, but I was definitely told I was ugly. Like, I got my braces taken off, and a guy told me I looked better with them on. It was like just very weird things.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
he's
Kids
like,
are mean.
oh.
Kids
I
are
was like,
mean.
what's that?
Kids are mean.
So mean. But like, oh God, I mean, I could just go on and on. And the bra thing, I will go on and on. The bra thing cracks me up. That's what I get to do on this. The bra thing cracks me up because I remember one of my best friends still to this day. She was the new girl in like 5th grade. And we met her at volleyball camp that summer before school started. And she was A, the best overhand server I had ever seen, and B, had a bra strap showing on her shoulder, and she had a t-shirt on that was falling over her shoulder, and it was a side-out t-shirt. And I don't know if anyone remembers these, but like, or no, it wasn't co-ed naked, it was a side-out one. But it reminds me of the co-ed naked shirts that were like, in the sand is twice as grand, and they always had like sexual stuff on them. But she had a side-out volleyball t-shirt on, and I was like, that bra strap, and I just made her my friend. And then I told her later that I originally approached her because of her overhand serve and her bra strap, and she, like, we know about it to this day. Like, that is why we originally became friends. I mean, because it was just, she's so cool.
Oh my God. I mean, I feel like in 7th grade, because I was a new kid, I like decided that some people were my friends, and then they became my friends. I feel like that's exactly how you make friends even today. You decide that, like, I like them, I'm gonna hang out with them and see how it goes. Like, and usually
There's something about them.
Yeah.
There's something about them that you like, whether it's like the way, I mean, when you're a kid, it's like really baseline, like they like purple, they've got a bra strap, like they also have an older brother, they like Gushers. You're like, yes,
yeah,
friend. And now it's a little bit more nuanced, but it really is the same thing. Like,
yeah.
my few friends here in Chicago, because I've only been here for like 2.5 years, and I think it's hard to like make friends in a new city where you don't know anyone, but they've all been selected originally by me, hoping that they would also want to be my friend. And it was because of something I really liked about them when I first met them.
Yeah.
I thought you were hilarious.
I thought you were cool. I was like, man, she looks cool. I was
right?
like, she looks cool. Cool.
It's when you first meet them, there's something where you're just like, that is so funny. That is so cool. You will be my friend.
Exactly. And I feel like it's
tell me what you thought about the thong.
Oh no, I know that was my whole thing. I was just like, I don't remember, like, I remember my parents, like, for back to school would just like give us each like a couple $100 and just like let us loose in Gurney Mills, which is like a big mall. And they would be like, you get to choose. Like in middle school, I think this started. I think I was like freaked out in my head. I was like, I have all of this money to buy my own back to school clothes because my parents trust me. And in 6th grade we had, I think they did this because in 6th grade we had uniforms and they moved us and we were all distraught about it. Like my sisters were about to go into high school and so they were extra distraught about it. And like, I was just, going into 7th grade and distraught. And so they gave us money to bribe us, which is, a solid plan for 13. It's a solid plan. Just give us money, let us loose in the mall. And like my friends from 6th grade were also around. And so we just like had this big mall day and like, I don't even know, like, I think I got a bra from Victoria's Secret and I was just like, I'm the shit. And then I think I got like thong underwear from,
oh my God,
like Rue 21, I want to say is a
Rue 21, yes, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think from there I got like a $5 thong and I was like, I'm gonna try it. And I like hid that I was buying it. And I was like, I don't want anyone to know because if I never wear it, I don't want anyone to ever bring this up. But my parents did my laundry, so it was a terrible plan.
I never wore a thong till my 20s.
What?
For sure. Maybe in college, but I doubt it. No, I didn't wear one till my 20s. And you bring up those stores, it's making me think of Contempo Casual, Wet Seal.
Wet Seal. Wet Seal was my shit. Pants with so many pockets. I didn't carry things. I didn't even have a cell phone. Why did I have so many pockets? It was the best.
So many pockets.
Yes, and I feel like boat neck things were like very popular.
Boat neck, plaid skirts with little knee highs or like thigh highs.
Mm-hmm. What else? Charlotte Russe was a store I really liked. Everything from Guess, I was like, oh my god, Guess
was designer at that time. Like if someone had Guess jeans, I assumed they were rich.
Yeah.
And I didn't have Guess jeans. Like we bought clothes mostly from department store, and then we were like a Gap, American Eagle. We didn't go much further than that. But when I saw a Guess label, I was like, oh shit.
Right?
Oh shit.
I remember I had like a Guess shirt. Shut up. Target?
Do you have email?
Right? So I had this like Guess shirt that I was like in love with. I was like, I'm the coolest thing ever. And at that point, like I didn't really have a view of myself outside of myself, you know, because you're like narcissistic and a teen. And I remember wearing this shirt in like, it was like maybe like, I think this was probably 8th grade, but it was a Spanish class. And like I said, I was like a pretty developed like teen. And
you were one of those girls that they saw and they looked at and the boobs were like pulsating in front of them.
Yes, but it was the worst. It was like mortifying to like I was in a Spanish class and this guy like passed me a note and he's like, what size are your boobs? And I was like, I hate you.
Oh my God.
And I was like mortified because like I thought that I looked great, and then just to like have somebody else's view of me, and I was like, oh, and I did not like him.
He also thought you looked great.
But I did not like him, and I was like, oh my God. And I think for the rest of that year, I want to say I wore like baggy sweaters and like look like relatively like shit. Because I was like, this is not the attention I want. And I was just like guy dumb at that point. Like I thought I just was like so stupid and like missed everything. Like a note like that wouldn't have been interpreted by me like, oh my God, I like you, like, you know, you look cute or something like that. I was like, oh my God, no.
Think about it though.
People think I'm some sort of slut. Like I'm like trying so hard, and I'm like, no, this was just, I thought this was a cool shirt.
Think about it in today's terms though. Like that was showing that a guy liked you, or when they would neg you, that was showing that they liked you. And now, just imagine getting a note passed to you by like a coworker.
I would
like
assume they're trying to murder
school. Me. Right. Let's make school the workplace instead, where you're just with people that are just there for, you know, a common reason, but you're not necessarily friends. Passes you a note and asks how big your boobs are. Sexual harassment. But as a child, it's like, it's so crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was just like filled with shame at that moment. I was like, oh my God, like people think that I'm like that pulsating boob girl. And I was like, I didn't know.
Isn't that funny though?
It's crazy.
That's the same thing, crazy. Because like, it's normal that it made you feel with shame. He was trying to show that he liked you, which is the fucked up part. You weren't guy dumb. You had the reaction that like adult women should have been having and weren't having, because that type of shit we thought was a good thing when we were younger. It's so fucked. Anyways, it's crazy.
Middle school was so fun and so horrible at the same time. At the same time.
Tell me whether or not you heard the same rumor. Like, then this made me realize how universal some like stories or rumors were. Like, even I think they were supposed to be in LA. I don't know where they actually grew up, but
no idea.
When they talked about someone's sister putting peanut butter on her vagina and getting eaten out by the dog, I'm like, check. I remember that rumor, and I believed it for a hot second. I remember hearing it when I was younger.
I feel like I heard that as like a myth that there was a porn out there where that happened. Kind of like a 2 cups or like 1 cup, 2 girls. What is that video? 2 girls, 1 cup.
2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah. Just like things that I knew existed in the ether, but I had no interest in ever seeing. And I was like, that's an interesting idea. I don't have a dog, so I don't have this issue with the peanut butter. I'd like to ingest the peanut butter. I don't need anyone licking peanut butter off me ever.
That also seems Like, why would you, peanut butter, it's going to stick to your pubic hairs. It seems very, like, difficult. What about shaving cream? They need to change that rumor. That's easier. It's all gross, but that's easier. Not shaving cream. Sorry. Cool, like, not Cool Whip.
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream. Shaving cream. Ew. You're going to poison your dog.
Yeah. Terrible.
Oh my God. Okay, so what did you think? I really loved, so these two girls that created the show were friends in college. Mm-hmm. And I love, you can tell that they're close friends. I love the way that they talked to each other. It was a lot of, so you want to do it? I don't know. Do you want to do it? I'm not sure. I want to do it. Yeah, no, yeah, I do too. Like a lot of this just back and forth, just, oh my God, it just killed me. Is that how you spoke with your twin? Did you guys have that sort of language that you understood?
Yeah. 100%.
What the other person was saying? Yeah.
Yeah, without like, you know, like when we were like really little, we had like our literal own language. And then it just kind of morphed into like something like a little bit more casual, like the little twin language, or I think like any siblings who are like close in age do that also, where you're like the shorthand is just like extremely short, and then it goes to like a human interaction level where it's just like, no, she didn't want it. I told you she didn't want it. Or we're not doing it. And somehow we can speak for each other with just looking at each other. Like, no, she's not gonna, no. Or like usually it was me trying to get my sister to eat my food for me because I didn't want to eat it ever. Or
I love that.
Yeah, it's sneaking food to anyone who would take it because my parents, like, I don't know. In my opinion, they just serve extremely large portions. But other people would say you're just an extremely slow eater. But either way, we couldn't play or do anything until everyone was done. Oh my or maybe that's just how I interpreted it. Is that like life stopped until I had to finish my food, whatever it was. And this went on for forever. I want to say like
no, that's common. That's common. Everyone kind of had to finish.
Yeah. But yeah.
So what did you think about the celebrity like crushes they had? Did you ever make out with pictures or pin up? No,
I was not that kid. I didn't put like posters on my bedroom wall until I was like well into high school, and they were like Rolling Stone covers. Like me and my sister had like Rolling Stone covers like all over our room because we were so cool.
You guys are very cool because I had the same ones that they had there.
Like a pullouts from like older. J14. Like I love J14 and
BOP Magazine.
Yep.
Like Devin Sawa and Brad Renfro and JTT. He's in Now and Then.
I don't know who that is still. Which one was he?
But he was Scott, the one that makes out with Christina Ricci.
Oh, okay.
Or kisses Chris. But like I remember going to the library and taking out those BOP magazines and then cutting out all of the pictures and then returning it to the library.
Oh my God, you little vandal.
And I would just post them, and I would make up my make-believe because I wasn't an only child, but like my brothers were much older, so I did spend a lot of time by myself. I would make up stories and then act them out, and they would involve my crushes. It would be like, I don't know, like running into Will Smith at the grocery store and like a conversation I may or may not have with him, or I would make stuff up with River Phoenix, even though he was dead at the time. And I just like always had these sort of like crushes. It went so far as to my telling a friend of mine about one of the crushes, which was one of the boys in the movie Sleepers. I don't know if you've ever saw that. It's actually a really good movie. I really liked him, and I told my friend in college, and that's Sawyer, told my friend in college, and he knew him, gave me his phone number, and I called, and I left a voicemail, and I don't even know like what it said. It's so weird. That's in college. I don't even know if he's still around. Terrible.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
God.
Oh my God. I don't remember any like super intense like like crushes on like guys in my school, but like celebrity crushes, I still don't really care about celebrities. I was like, people I don't know like don't really exist. Like they exist. I know you're like a real person, but like,
yeah,
a little realism. Like I'm never gonna like. I mean, you know, now that I've got a extremely successful podcast, the odds of me running into Will Smith in a grocery store has increased, and so maybe I should,
he'll know who you are.
He'll know who I am. So maybe I should start with my fantasies. I guess I follow some celebrities, like, Michael B. Jordan. I'll make up a storyline for him. Like, if
yeah,
any storyline.
Anybody should.
It'd be a very short story. Like, I see Michael B. Jordan. That's it. We're together for forever. Obviously.
Yeah. So it's hard with this show to not just talk about nostalgia, because that's the point of it. I think is to really bring that out.
It's so funny.
And comedy.
It is really so funny. Yes, like it is very well written. Like these are two very good comedians. I'm going to assume improvisers also. I'm going to guess that a lot of this is improvised and not scripted. It just seems so organic, the way that they're interacting with each other. And because they're such good friends, I imagine that this is a lot of improvisation. Like when she's in front of the class, like doing the Ace Ventura, like,
oh my God.
Funny. I love that. And I love that she did that in front of the class. I was like,
that's what I mean. She let the crazy out. She had this like confidence about her to do those sort of things that I was like, never. Or then when she goes to like beat up that guy, because he said something to her, and then she ends up being like, your dad died because you did something. And I was just like, crazy. And I love when she talks to Anna later and she'd be like, oh, Anna, what did I do? Like, I don't know. And Anna's like, yeah, that was crazy. But, it was crazy. Yeah. So, and they just kind
it's already happened. So let's just move on.
We're just very much in the moment here. It's like mosquito memory for children. Yeah. But I remember a kid saying something like that to me. Like, you're a loser because you don't have a dad. Oh, kids say that shit. What? They say it. Oh, yeah. And so, like, I almost felt, I'm like, does everyone feel like this when you're watching this? And listeners, tell us, did they crawl into your brain and pull out specific memories of yours? Because it was so specific, some of them. I was just like, wow, that is so well written to be able to, because I know I'm not the only one. You're supposed to think you're the only one, but you know that you're not. They are talking to everyone. Everyone can relate. Anyone who was a child during the year 2000, like meaning not yet, well, I was in college, but having experienced middle school in the mid 90s to 2000, you can totally relate to all of this. And I guess
every millennial. Yeah, every millennial. Gen Z, you're not going to get it. You've got a whole different thing going on. But
social media,
if you're a millennial,
social media.
Yeah. If you're a millennial, you're going to love Pen15. If not for the nostalgia, for the comedy. If not just for the comedy, it is very well acted.
It is just, oh my God. And getting in trouble, like drinking beer for the first time, and then Maya always has to go further. Oh my God, the whippets. I never did them, but I remember people doing them, and just like, and then the parent coming in and like aggressively getting in your face, and the fear, like when a parent would come in, like the intensity of the fear of getting in trouble by someone with someone else's parents. I can like still think about it and have it rise up at me. It is so scary. It is scarier than your own parents, like for sure.
No, my other people's parents didn't scare me as much as my. I'm like,
oh my God, that's so funny.
Not at all. Not at all. Because no, my own parents are to be feared. They don't play, and so no.
So let's dive.
I resonate more with Anna and having a little bit more of like a conscious mind, like being feeling a little bit more mature even in 7th grade than like Maya. But I also envy Maya, like similarly to what you were saying, that like she was so present. She was just 13. Like she didn't have to be mature in any way, and like it wasn't required of her. And I think it kind of was in Anna's character only because her parents are going through such interesting things, which I thought was really great that they brought up, that like, hey, families aren't perfect and they look different. And just to see how she was handling it on her own, how she was like asking for help in really interesting ways. But also how she didn't seem to like internalize it as if she was the problem, like she was causing this in any way. And I was like, that's a really healthy way to handle that dynamic.
Oh my God. So let's, before we go into SFL criteria, let's get a little bit into the last episode of the season, because that's when they start to get a little bit serious. Mm-hmm. It's all very funny, cringeworthy, and still is, but the last episode then takes us into the intersectionality of Maya's character. Well, actually not necessarily, well, yeah, a female, but also she's Asian. And having kids be racist, act in racist ways, and then having her best friend also be a part of it without realizing it. And I can totally relate to Anna's character in that way.
I thought you were going to say Maya.
Yeah, right. I can relate to Maya with some shit. Yeah, and I fully, like, I know more than anybody else what it is like.
You're the least worst racist person in the room, is what you're saying.
I just really understand what Maya felt in that moment when they told her that she needed to be the servant because she's darker. I just, it really resonated with me. Mm-hmm. It's just something I always hear.
I could see that. I could see that that's where you were leading to. That's what you were building to. And I just wanted to say that I see and hear you, and I empathize with what you're going through.
Thank you. I'm glad. I feel seen. All I want to do is to have my race experience. I really want it recognized.
Yes. You're an individual, beautiful snowflake that can be compared to no one.
Thank you. So yeah, I resonated with Anna. She was enabling it, but she didn't know it was happening, so it's hard to be angry with her in 7th grade, where it's just, she's been friends with this person for how long, we don't know, and doesn't think about any of that stuff with her or with her family. It's just, those are the people she knows and loves. But then she's unaware of that struggle that Maya might be going through, probably because Maya hasn't said anything and isn't fully aware of it herself either, or what it means. So it's just interesting to see it play out in kids, and then have the brother and his friends start telling her, like, hitting Maya with these truths about what racism looks like, and she was kind of falling into it and making fun of herself too in the beginning. Oh God,
well, also, like, I felt like those jokes are the jokes that you make with your Asian family, or with your, for me, Black family, and Black friends, and like you don't realize that you're saying it like out of turn, like like it would be funny. You don't realize the context. You're like, oh, that would be funny if I said it like to family and friends who are like of the same like race and experience as me, but it doesn't really occur to you that like it hits differently to different people. So I completely resonate with Maya in this, like,
with joking and kind of going along with it.
No.
No.
But with kind of realizing that you're different, and that difference is seen as a negative. Because I feel like every person of color has a story. Like for me, like this is kind of late, and it could just be also be because she's half Japanese and half white, that she's having this experience late. But I think every person of color who grows up in an environment that's not predominantly, the same race or race that you are, has the moment where you realize that you're something else, that everyone else is one thing and that you're something else. It's not always that other thing is negative, but, particularly I'm Black. And so that thing is outside of our community considered to be a bad thing, to be a negative thing. And it's the 90s, early 2000s. Racism was kind of crazy then. And I had gone from like kindergarten through 6th grade in a majority, like, actually it was probably like majority white, but like a very healthy number of Black, Asian, international kids, to 7th grade, which was a 80% white school, and to be the only Black person everywhere. There was like 2 teams in my high school, so there was like an A team and a B team. I was on like the A team, which I don't know if there's actually any significance to the A and B, but the A team, there was like, I was one of 2 Black people in all of my classes. There was one mixed girl, my friend Alexis, and I was like, she's gonna be my friend. I feel this. Me and you, right here. And there was like one Mexican girl who I really liked too. We weren't close friends, but I really liked her. And then the other team, for some reason, had everyone who I thought was cool was on the other team. And I was like, ugh, how could I be stuck? Obviously, I'm so cool coming off my 6th grade high. I'm so cool. Right. How could I be stuck within this lame class with all these people who like know nothing, in my opinion, nothing about like what is cool, which would be like all things urban, like all things Black, all things urban. And they just only want to talk about like Sum 41 and like dumb shit. And I was like, Fall Out Boy. Ugh, because they were local. And I was like, if you say these words to me again, I swear to God, I cannot handle it. You guys are so lame and I hate you and I want to go back to my old school where like people made sense and the world was right. But then additionally compounding that, being the only brown person, it does become like you're on exhibit, always on some sort of display, the statement piece for your race. That's
you are what all of those people are looking to. Yeah. To determine how a Black person acts.
Yeah, and it's like a weird thing that like white people like really want access to Blackness. And I feel like at that point I didn't have a limit. Like I didn't have like any filter to be like, oh, what I'm saying that I would say to Black people is fine, because like it's what I would say to like my sisters or like my cousins or like my other friends. And that's fine. It's just a joke. But like to hear that from someone else, I was like, that does kind of, but you don't realize the malice behind it because it's genuinely not malice yet. But it goes unchecked for so long because you got people like me. It was just like, oh, that's just a funny joke. Like, they don't mean it. It's fine. And then you turn like, somehow when you turn 18, it's automatically like, you're an adult, you should know better. And I was like, nobody checked them from, elementary school through high school, but now it's racist. No, it was always racist and it should have always been checked. But
it's just wild.
We'll see. The future is always a mystery, and hopefully, 2021 will be different than 2020. We'll have a new president, and we can begin doing the work of a second reconstruction.
So Pen15. Pen15 really, hey, they got real in that last episode. But to just bring us back to a little funny, awkward, cringeworthy part was Anna setting up a racist act to teach the students about racism. So when she has all the good intentions in the world, and I laughed my ass off when the kids are pointing at whatever the sign said. What did it say? Maya is Asian? Or I don't even know what it said.
I don't remember.
On her locker. And then Anna walks out. This is an example of racism. And I'm laughing, but like dying inside because I'm like, oh God, you used your friend to try and fight it, but you're re-traumatizing her in doing it. And so I totally get why her brother, Maya's brother and friends are like, you gotta, I mean, you know, 8th grade mind, you gotta beat her up. But it was very awesome to see them kind of come back together with it, because she knew who Anna was. But like, we don't see them actually discuss what happened, but I was happy they didn't beat each other up. And Maya, which sucks, she's going to end up having to be in the teaching mode, which is a total bummer because how fucking exhausting. But Anna doesn't know at that time. But it's clear that Anna wants to know. She went to ask Jeeves. She fell into it, and it's just,
Real website
I know,
still. I'm gonna look.
oh my God, it was amazing. It was just a really good scene.
Ask Jeeves is just ask.com, and it still exists. So let's get into this criteria. We've talked about every detail of the show. And it's just been a cringy love fest that I've enjoyed so much. But SFL, we do have criteria to talk about, and that is whether or not the characters are top billed. Are the female characters top billed? Does the character impact the plot and or move the story forward? And do the characters have agency? I think that both of these characters, Maya and Anna, are SFLs. In my book, they check all the boxes. They're very obviously top leads or top billed. They don't impact the plot because I don't know that there is a plot, but they do move the story forward. Every decision they make in every episode, despite how crazy they are, moves the episode forward. And they have agency. They are making these choices themselves for good and for bad. And they come out as better friends in the end. So I loved it. What did you think?
Total SFLs. Yeah, top billed, have agency within their childhood lives. Like, in a way, you can, if we really wanted to get weird, we could talk about how much agency a child really has, but they have agency within their day-to-day, for sure. And I think they impact the plot. I mean, it's an episodic plot, and it's basically just middle school and experiences of middle school. I'd be curious to see how it develops in the second season. So we'll have to do that. Maybe there's more of a storyline rather than just each episode being the story. But I think the plot is just, we're in middle school. Yo, this is our life. This is our day to day. And we're impacting it. They were SFLs.
I think TV shows are different in that way, in that like TV shows are character driven, so the plot is very much secondary to how much we know and enjoy Anna and Maya, and I love that. They're amazing. Yeah, different criteria for me for slightly different criteria for TV shows as opposed to films. Films, I want a plot. Don't waste my time. I don't have 2.5 hours for no plot.
What? You mean what?
All the shade to Midsummer. All the shade.
What? God, I felt that. Felt it. Yeah, they're SFLs, and this definitely, I don't even need to look. This definitely passes the Bechdel test, which I love. And I think that that's more likely to happen in movies or shows that depict younger female characters. And it's kind of a shame, because when the characters become older, then it's really, a lot of it is driven by relationships and thoughts and conversations about men that are around. But when they're younger, man, it is anything and everything they are talking about. And I mean, I would bet, someone prove me wrong. I would bet $100 that this passes the Bechdel test. I'm trying to think of an actual conversation that the two of them have. Okay, I mean, thong. There you have it. Conversations about the thong. Like, about hiding the thong, giving the thong back. Some of it is about, like, who checks them out, but not all of the conversations are about that. So it definitely passes the Bechdel. No question. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why can't I just want to go back to the time? I just want to go to every little girl that I see on the street and be like, just enjoy this time where your mind is not clouded by what men in your life think of you, other than your daddy. If your daddy is around, that's important because that's your person and your parent, and you want to think about them. But like just in general, conversations when you're a little girl are not all about guys. It's great.
I would think I would tell my younger self / any other young adult person that nobody's opinion of you matters more than yours. And that would be my only advice.
Oh, that's what that woman.
Yeah.
That's what the fashion show, the one woman basically says.
That is the only advice you need. No one's opinion of you matters more than your opinion of you.
You gotta
and be flexible. Be flexible in your physical body and in your opinions.
Right. Because your opinion can be the harshest.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I want to rely on my opinion of myself. So like, you just have to be. Yeah. Now we're talking to our other selves. This show is just. Oh
I love that. I feel like we're in therapy now. What would Diane say? She makes me do stuff like this. I'm like, I don't know. She's like so boring. Like, younger Tessa is just like annoying.
Oh my God, write a letter to your younger self. Everyone write a letter to your younger self and post on SFL Instagram.
Yeah. Tell them about how great your current life is.
Tell them about the pandemic.
Yeah. Beware of 2020. I know it seems like an awesome year because 2 is everyone's favorite number / my favorite number.
Oh my God.
So many 2s in this year. And so maybe 2022 will be even better.
Beware of 2020. Oh my God, let's make a time capsule and bury it.
It's just masks and hand sanitizer and a time capsule and a calendar. Rip out all the months of quarantine and it's like, this is 2020. A mask, hand sanitizer, and a calendar with dates written.
Oh my God, and a picture of Trump with something weird written on the face.
Just self-tanner, not even a picture of him, just self-tanner.
A wig.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, anyways, guys, this has been awesome. Thank you.
Oh wait, what would you rate this?
So
do you recommend it?
Oh my God, 5 out of 5. 5. I rate this 5 Care Bear thongs. I need to rate this 5 Care Bear t-shirts. I was going between Care Bear t-shirt and thong. That's it. I rate this 5 Care Bear thongs.
I'm gonna rate this 5 moms in low-cut tops. Because Anna's mom was hilarious to me. And also, like, I loved how she was so mortified by her because that's also how I felt about my own mom. I was like, God, why are you so horrible about everything? She's just being a woman. She's just existing in the world, and somehow everything she was doing was horrible.
I know. That's got to be so hard for a parent because there's definitely like your kid loves everything about you, wants to be with you, wants to play with you 24/7. And then all of a sudden they do not want you getting out of the car at school because you are a terrible embarrassment as a human and should not even be around them.
If I could only be a parent to like teenage / high school age kids, like that would be my ideal scenario because all of that shit I think is hilarious, and I would be so excited to always be getting out of the car wearing ridiculousness and like yelling their name in stores and like just like being the most extra mom ever. And that's I don't dislike little kids, but like they're not as fun. But like middle school to like teenage kids to just embarrass and revel in that and just like for personal comedy.
That is really funny because most people would say that's the toughest age. But if you can embrace it and not take it personally and be like, this is part of their personal development. They're supposed to separate from
and
you
if
now.
I don't laugh
guess
them,
what? I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna kill them with embarrassment and just it is really funny.
If you don't take it well with love from your mother, how are you gonna face the real world? And I'm just lightly embarrassing you. Lightly. I just
And I
wore
really love
some
you're
hot
just pulling
shorts.
up.
Oh yeah.
You're just pulling up here. Just getting ready. I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I'll just pick them up from school in a costume. I'll be like a sexy nurse for no reason. They're like, I don't know.
A costume.
I
That's brilliant.
would die. And my parents kind of did some of that kind of stuff, but like in a lame way, I would go extra. I would be extra. And they would hate it, and I would love it. And I would just go to my husband at night, and we would just talk about what we did to them and laugh hysterically. And that is how I picture my 40s.
That is truly the way to handle that situation.
I think so. Brilliant. If you're causing me stress, I'm going to cause you stress. Like, I've got all the money. When I was a teen, I had no money, and I had to just, like, get by.
Yeah.
Now I have all the money, and I can play amazing pranks on my own kids. Amazing pranks. Ugh. Ooh, like set the clocks and like make them think that they missed Christmas one year and like, ugh. Like, you guys slept through it. I'm sorry.
Tessa, my dad did that. Really? No, he didn't do it so they missed Christmas, but he changed the clocks back, and he as an April Fool's joke, and he had everyone, or he set them early so that the kids woke up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for school, and he was, reading the paper, dressed up for work, got them all the way into the car to go to school, and then was like, April Fool's, it's like 5 a.m.
Yes! I love that. That's brilliant. And I'm going to use that.
Definitely. I don't know if I was born yet, but my brothers still remember it. They were like, God, we woke up and we were like, whoa, we're so tired. It's like 4 a.m. And a kid, they need like 1,000 hours of sleep a night.
Oh.
And he got them into the car.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
I mean, I think that's why I don't like little kids, because like they will never get the joke. They'll just be like, I was up really early. And then they'll like take that as a habit and start getting up at 5 a.m. And I'd be like, oh, no, that was a joke. That was a joke. Mommy, sorry, I didn't mean that. That's not real.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But like a nice 13, you'll get it.
A school-age kid, like, they will not be getting up at 5 a.m. ever.
Yeah.
On their own. Oh my God, I love it. Guys, you can, oh my God, what'd you rate it?
Oh, 5 out of 5. It's
easy.
Riot. It's a good time. There is absolutely no excuse why you haven't watched Pen15, so get your life together in this quarantine, COVID 2020.
Do it, and tell us all your nostalgic, post everything you remember from the year 2000, anything nostalgic, anything you related to in this. Show us pictures, give us memories, give us stories. Let us know what you think of this episode. There's so much to talk about with this. It was so wonderful. And you can find us on Instagram at Strong Female Pod.
Yes, and again, shout out to Natalie, who DM'd us on Instagram and suggested Pen15. And if you want to suggest to us a movie, hit us up on Instagram or on Twitter. We're SFL_Chicago on Twitter. Tweet at us. Tweet us a movie poster, something you're interested in. We'll take it up.
Rate, review, and subscribe on Apple. And I think that's it.
That is it. And there is no more. See you later, guys.
There's no more. Bye.
Bye.